We just got news about 10 new bottles of bourbons and whiskeys that are dropping here very, very soon. You wanna know what they are? Well, let's find out. What is going on, everybody? Nathan here with the Everyday Drinker. Everybody has a brand new video. Today, we're gonna be going over 10 brand new bottles of bourbons and whiskeys that are going to be dropping here very, very soon. Some of these I'm super excited for. One of them is almost as old as I am, and I can't even imagine what the price of this bottle is going to be. But without further ado, let's get into bottle number one. Bottle number one is going to be coming from the distillery known as Wild Turkey. Now, Wild Turkey is going to be dropping a 16-year-old, 120 proof bottle called the Gold Foil Edition. I could only imagine this bottle's minimum price tag is going to be in that $250 to $300 range. The scarcity of these higher aged whiskeys is becoming far and few between, and we're getting lesser and lesser aged whiskeys in the small batch releases and sometimes these limited releases. And these higher aged whiskeys are, because they're so scarce, the price of them are getting skyrocketed, and it's something that we have to deal with here. Hopefully within the next couple of years, these higher well-known distilleries, when the bourbon boom hit, they made a lot of whiskey, and we're going to be getting some decent aged decent aged whiskeys here coming very, very soon. But that's bottle number one, the Gold Foil 16-year, 120 proof offering from Wild Turkey. Is it worth it? I personally don't know. Let's get into whiskey number two. Whiskey number two is going to be coming from our friends from Penelope. This is going to be a 7-year age-stated barrel strength blend of straight bourbon whiskeys coming in at 121.6 proof. Sorry, I had to look at my notes there. The barrel strength from Penelope, I don't think has ever had a age statement on it, and I think that this label rendition of this, I think that this is their core offering of their barrel strength offerings, and I think that we're finally getting an age statement on it, right? We've had the 9-year bartender or bar keeps or whatever it was. We've had some age statements on the architects and things along those lines, and the American light whiskey, which we'll get into next actually. But this barrel strength offering has never truly had one. I think it's usually 4 to 5 or 4 to 6. Now we've got a strict age statement of at least 7 years, which in my personal opinion is well worth it, and coming in at that like $55 to $60 range. It's worth it in my humblest opinion. Now, bottle number three is one that we just kind of made a nod to, and that's going to be the Penelope American Light Whiskey. The next release, the limited release of this, is going to be an 18-year, 140.2 proof American Light Whiskey. Now, we're talking hazmat. We're talking, ultra-aged American Light Whiskey. If you don't know what American light whiskeys are, most of the time to be an American light whiskey, it's the same, most of the time, it's the same mash bill as a bourbon, but it's not aged in new charred oak, it's aged in used charred oak barrels, so it doesn't get the same depth, but it still gets a very, very similar profile, but it comes in at a much more reasonable price most of the time. Now this Penelope, it's going to be, they've done 13, 14, 15, 17, and now this 18. This is going to be a really, really hard to find bottle, but if you do, it's most likely going to be a darn good one. Now, let's get into bottle number four. Before we get into bottle number four, make sure you guys drop that like, leave a comment down below on what bottle you're most excited for on this list in this video. And if you have one that's not on this list, leave that in the comments as well. Make sure you guys smash that subscribe button. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers. Once we hit that, we're going to be doing a huge subscriber giveaway that you aren't going to want to miss. Make sure you guys check that link out down below for the Patreon. Help support me and the channel like you wouldn't believe for as little as $2 a month. You get in on some amazing, amazing things and a great Discord filled with a lot of fun people and store pick and group picks and my picks that you wouldn't want to miss out on either. And let's get into the next bottle. So new Riff is dropping a new one. We're talking about the High Note Collection. This is going to be a 6-year age-stated bottle coming in at 120.5 proof. Kentucky straight wheat whiskey. So this is not a bourbon. This is not a rye. This is a wheat whiskey coming in 120.5 proof in 6 years. Wheat whiskey to me, I like it sometimes if it's done correctly. I think that for me with wheat whiskey, I like a high char on the barrels that the wheat whiskeys go in, because I think it kind of complements that ultra sweetness that the wheat brings and brings in a little bit more depth. I think wheat whiskeys can sometimes fall a little bit flat. And if New Riff does this correctly, how I like it, I think that this could be an absolute delicious, delicious release. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a distillery release only or a Kentucky only release. Sometimes with these limited releases from New Riff, they don't get released nationwide. But if this one happens to do just that, it's probably one that I will most likely pick up. Now, bottle number 5 is definitely one that you want to keep your eyes out on because why? It's got the Buffalo Trace name on it. Well, not specifically. This is going to be the next edition of the Daniel Weller. We had the I can't remember what specifically wheat it was, but now we've got the spelt wheat recipe, which is coming in at 94 proof again. And for me, these are going to be ultra priced, ultra limited, ultra rare, and with an absolute astronomical price tag to go along with it. And to me, I just don't think it's going to be worth it. For all of you guys out there that love to collect all of the Weller, all of the Buffalo Trace bottles, by all means, go out and do it. There's nobody stopping you. And the price tag is what's going to be stopping me and 99% of the other people out there. But I saw this on the interwebs and I thought, why not just let you know about the next Daniel Weller that's going to be released, which is the spelt wheat recipe. And what is spelt wheat? I've got no idea. Go ahead and look it up yourself. Next bottle. Coming from Sagamore out of Maryland, we're talking about rye whiskey, and this is going to be a new one from them. We're talking about a low rye mash bill, and I think that this is a 51% rye in the mash, so it's a barely legal rye. It's a 10-year age statement on there, coming in at 114.2 proof. I've loved almost every Sagamore Spirits whiskey I've tried in my past and will most likely love in the future as well. And this one is no different. They're trying something a little bit different here with this recipe. And I commend them for that because, you know, a lot of new bourbon drinkers are afraid to try rye whiskeys. And this is probably one that new bourbon drinkers getting into rye would probably really enjoy because of that low rye in that mash bill, and it's not going to be as bold and spicy as other rye whiskeys are. And this one is going to be one that I am going to be looking for whenever this releases. Now, next up, we're looking at a very, very ultra-aged whiskey from Rare Character. We're talking about Brook Hill. This is coming in at 121 proof-ish, 23 years old. This is going to be absolutely insane. The price tag of this bottle is going to be probably upwards of $300 to $400. Secondary on these Brook Hills usually doubles or triples, and I can only imagine what this one's going to do. It's going to be upwards of $1,000 to probably $1,250. It's one that if you find it, I'd snag it and hold on to it for a special occasion pour because this is probably going to be an absolutely delicious, delicious whiskey coming from Brook Hill. The Rare Character, limited release editions and stuff like that. And for me, I most likely will never see this in the wild, but if you do, like I said, it's probably one that you're going to want to get. It's a special occasion pour, no doubt. Or it's one that, you know, if you pick it up and you're a flipper, it's one that you're going to make a decent profit margin on. And finally, well, not finally, we've got another one before the final bottle. I don't even know what number we're on, but we're talking about the Maker's Mark Wood Finish Series 2026. We have our first looks at the label, and this is the Steward's release. This is going to be coming in at 109 proof, roughly. And again, we thought that the Wood Finish Series was done, but I think we're on the Keeper's release was what? Number, release 2 of 5. So next year's is going to be 3 of 5. And then you know what they're going to do to us? They're going to do another one after that one. But it is what it is. Maker's Mark's got to make their money where they have to. And this is going to be probably a decent one. Heart release was good. Keeper's release is good. Steward's release, I'm only going to imagine it's going to be good. And it's one that you're going to be looking out for 2026. And next up, we've got another Yellowstone release. Now, this is going to be an interesting one because this is the 2015 to 2025 hand-selected Yellowstone straight bourbon at 10 years old, 105 proof. For me, I like some Yellowstones. I don't like all of them. And I think that this is probably one that is probably going to be pretty good. A 10-year-old Yellowstone. I do really enjoy that 6-year, 107 proof bottle. That was absolutely delicious. This one, it can only be just as good, right? Yellowstone drops some really good stuff, and sometimes they're hit or miss, but this one, I can only imagine, is probably going to be a decent pour. Last but not least, we're talking Heaven Hill. Am I talking Larceny? Am I talking Elijah Craig? I'm talking rye whiskey from Elijah Craig. This is their first release of the Elijah Craig rye ABC batch. And let's get into a little bit of information about this. I got to pull up my notes for this. The first release of the Elijah Craig rye. So the inaugural batch is bottled at 108 proof and boasts an age statement of 12 years and 3 months. So their rye whiskey is going to be higher aged than their bourbon releases, and I think that that's a problem, but it's probably going to be a darn good one. The rye is said to open with aromas of gingerbread, baking spices, and sweet molasses on the palate. Drinkers can expect a rich note of stewed fruits and cinnamon that segue into a spicy, warm finish. Now, if that does not speak absolute deliciousness for a fall and winter sipper, I don't know what does. So there are the 10 whiskeys that you're going to be keeping your eyes out on, that I'm going to be keeping my eyes out on, that are going to be released here very, very soon from now until 2026. We're going to be getting a lot more bottles announced here shortly, and you guys know where to come to find your information right here, right now. But until next time, this has been Nathan with The Everyday Drinker. Cheers.